In the bustling city of Almaty, where daily life moved with relentless speed, a wedding was about to take place. It was poised to become the highlight of the season. Ila and Timour formed the couple everyone envied, with friends and acquaintances praising their seemingly flawless bond. The occasion marked the peak of months filled with planning and eager expectation. Yet none of those present could have imagined that this wedding would soon turn into a heartbreaking tale. Ila entered the world in 1990, born to a middle-class family where her parents enforced strict rules on her upbringing and schooling. From childhood, she grew familiar with order and discipline, traits that shaped her into a dependable, driven person. After completing her finance studies, she secured a role at one of the city's leading banks. Her existence followed a meticulous blueprint. She always had clear goals and precise steps to reach them. To the outside world, she came across as beautiful, accomplished, and self-reliant. Beneath the surface, however, she had mastered the art of burying her doubts and vulnerabilities beneath a veneer of assurance. Timour, born the same year as Ila, had known a contrasting background. Raised in a wealthy household, his father stood out as a major entrepreneur, while his mother devoted herself to charitable endeavors. Following his studies in London, Timour came back to Kazakhstan and swiftly joined the family enterprise. He achieved success, possessed natural charm, and soon earned recognition in Almaty's commercial world. His confidence at times bordered on conceit, a trait that perhaps planted the seeds for what lay ahead. Their meeting occurred by chance yet felt almost destined. One evening, after an exhausting workday, Ila decided to join friends at a cozy cafe in the heart of the city. Timour was there too, among shared connections, and as so often happens in such settings, their eyes met. Nothing at that instant suggested this encounter would grow into something profound. A few days afterward, through friends, Timour acquired Ila's number and reached out to her. In this way, their journey began. Right from the start, Timour pursued her relentlessly, never allowing her attention to wander. She, used to standing on her own and valuing her autonomy, felt cautious at first, but gradually permitted herself to relax. She found herself drawn to his poise, his drive, and the way he seemed prepared to move mountains for their shared tomorrow. 6 months after they started dating, Timour proposed marriage, and Ila said yes. Though a quiet uncertainty lingered inside her, she worked to push it aside. So in 2017, elaborate preparations unfolded for a grand wedding meant to launch Ila and Timour into their ideal shared existence. Ila immersed herself completely in every detail of the arrangements, overlooking the subtle warning signs that grew more noticeable day by day. Timour started staying away more often, frequently mentioning client meetings or discussions with associates. Ila noticed, but she brushed it off as simply the demands of his work. Sometimes she perceived a growing emotional distance, yet she refused to let it spoil the image of the perfect ceremony and their promising life ahead. Ada, Ila's dearest friend from childhood, took part actively in the wedding tasks as well. Their connection ran deep. They had been inseparable since kindergarten, sharing every triumph and hardship, always there for one another. Ada served as the one person Ila trusted with her deepest secrets. Unlike Ila, Ada lived with greater spontaneity. She lacked a fixed career path, embraced the moment, and often changed her pursuits. Maybe this very difference strengthened their friendship so much. They balanced each other beautifully. When the wedding day finally dawned, Ila rose with an inexplicable feeling of disquiet. She could not shake the recollection of an odd phone exchange she had accidentally overheard several days before. Back then, she had convinced herself it was just another ordinary work discussion for Timour. Still, somewhere inside, it struck a chord. The faint unease grew stronger, but the whirlwind of the wedding left no room to linger on it. True to her nature, she set her worries aside and focused on the event, telling herself that other matters could wait. The ceremony began precisely on time, and everything unfolded as intended. Ila, resplendent in a stunning white dress, stood next to Timour, accepting well wishes and hearing the speeches. Timour looked impeccable as ever. He drew every eye, his charisma captivating those around him. Yet Ila could not overlook the glances he directed toward Ada. They remained discreet, missed by nearly all the guests, but not by her. Intuitively, Ila felt that something felt wrong, even if she could not pinpoint the cause. As the reception carried on, she experienced a mounting sense of detachment. She watched Timour slip away from the gathering at intervals, either to answer calls or simply to step out from the lively crowd. Each return brought a change in his face, from animated to strained. At one moment, Ila noticed Timour leave again. This time, her restraint finally gave way. She stood up from her seat and trailed after him, moving through the extended hallways of the reception venue. Beyond the pillars and partitions, her pulse quickened intensely. She drew near the door and heard Timour's low voice. She failed to catch every phrase, but she had no need to. He spoke to someone, and his manner carried nothing of professionalism. In that precise second, Ila grasped all she required. It felt as if an invisible boundary had been breached, with no path back. Something deep within her transformed. When she re-entered the hall, she was no longer the same woman who had risen that morning. Her mind turned cool and remote. She understood that her previous existence had ended, and everything would now shift irrevocably. The guests went on celebrating, unaware of the darkness beginning to settle. It grew evident that Timour had been sending messages and speaking on calls with Ada, who had likewise vanished repeatedly during the evening. When Timour came back, he failed to detect any alteration. He regarded Ila with a slight smile, trying to mask his unease. But his eyes betrayed his strain. Ila held his gaze and approached him gradually, their eyes fixed together. Yet in that instant, none of the feelings that had once connected them survived. Everything had been destroyed.